I just believe quite simply that our purpose is to be and live in joy. And when we do that, all the other particulars fall into place. The vocational choices fall into place, the which way do I go now, all the direction and the guidance falls into place when we come from that place of joy. And joy and creativity, self-expression, to me are synonymous. They go hand in hand.
He contacted me in his late 60s while I was right out of college teaching vocal lessons. Called me up crying on the phone, just crying because he had shut off that creative part of him since he was younger. And all he talked about was when he was 4 or 5 years old, his mom took away his tap shoes. We found out he was a great songwriter. He wrote 4 songs. We recorded them before he passed away. So I always think of him when I do Don't Let the Music Die. Don't let the music die.
I had this really horrible stage fright, and I realized that I had to conquer this, that my life was going to be really constricted if I just didn't get over this stage fright, and that I did want to write songs and maybe make some money writing songs, and if I wanted to do that, I was going to probably have to perform them, so I was going to have to learn how to perform and not freak out.
I said, lay down my fears, because that's really what's stopping us all. I will lay down my fears, and having the courage to give up your unhappiness. Lay down unhappiness and surrender to the peace I choose today.
Interestingly enough, neither of my parents really encouraged me to become a musician. My father, a Russian Jewish immigrant, was hoping his one son would one day become a lawyer or a doctor. I tried a lot of different things for many years, but I always came back to my guitar. There's nothing normal about creativity and those who are creative types. Our whole DNA, our whole functionality in the world is not a normal function, and I say normal in terms of what we have deemed as normal. You know, it's not within our mental structure to get up and do a 9-to-5 or 8-to-5 job. It's not a part of that. Our creativity requires something beyond that box. And so to not judge ourselves about that and to go, I'm not normal, and that's a good thing. And what can I do to fit in a normal world and at the same time honor my creativity? And if we get still long enough, you can make that work. You can find ways. You know, I've held jobs and done my creativity in the past, but as I was holding the job, I wasn't considering that was, I didn't look at it as a prison. I consciously looked at it as a gift because it was enabling me to do my creativity. And the more I could focus on the fact that it was a gift or that it was a blessing, then the less that I needed that, and the more that the creative opportunity began to expand.
When I was about 30, I realized it's really hard to get a record deal, but not that hard to start a record company. I didn't even realize I'd started a record company when I made 100 copies of my most rejected songs. Why 100 copies? Because I figured 100 copies would be a lifetime supply. And while I was trying to figure out what to do next, people kept buying those cassettes. And so when I sold the 100 cassettes for $10 each, I had $1,000. So I took that $1,000, I paid my rent with it for the first time not working another job. I would sell 100 cassettes, I'd pay my rent, and I'd buy another 100 cassettes. You get a price break at $500, but I couldn't even afford the price break. But that's how I started doing music for a living, just 100 cassettes at a time. My booking motto was, where two or more are gathered, I'll bring my guitar. And could I put my cassettes on your dining room table?
As I worked in churches and in Unity and wrote music and played, I found literally now hundreds of artists that do this, and they want to devote their talents to making the world a better place and not just writing love songs and things that sell. They want to actually write songs with meaning, music that matters.
Dare let this person go, this person who I have always defined myself as, or this person who others have always defined me as? Do I dare to let that person die so the real me, that is to say, the next me, can be born?
I don't know that I had the seed of being a singer necessarily, or a musician, but there was something in me that wanted so much to be on stage, to express myself in that way, and singing and music just happened to be the most independent way I could do it.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
My husband was struggling with the opportunity to make more money, but it meant he'd have to give up so much of his own personal life. And one of the lines in there, so if you feel afraid, like you're strange or kind of funny, because you once turned down a harder job that paid more money, or if you think other people are looking at you skewed because you sit down for your meals and actually chew your food. It may be hard to swallow, but you're one of us. We're Underachievers Anonymous.
There's the kind of life when every choice you make's the safe one, predictable, when every moment's like the last one.